But I guess, yeah, probably, so like the whole purpose of these interviews is being a subject matter expert. And so, like, you are an expert on essentially, one thing I feel like what I'm kind of picking up here is you're an expert on getting other experts together to help you do the expert work for yourself. Does that make sense? And so I feel like for the technology portion, like you need to know, so that way if your guy, like whoever you hire, if he's not even up to code almost or doing the right things, you're like, well, you're really far behind. Maybe I shouldn't hire you or something. But I assume you also hire people who are staying up to date on the technology.
For sure.
All right, and last question. So do you have any tips for people who may not be big into media but still want to own a business? And how should they utilize media for their business, or how essential is media to their business? So as like a general business. All right, so there's like, for me, I want to start a wedding venue. It probably doesn't apply to me as much other than maybe a commercial or something. But how would, like, what would be something that you would say people should look at for media in their business?
For media in their business? Or
Yes.
just for the
Does
business
that question
in
totally make sense? I don't know. As my best understanding of media, I feel like what would you tell an average business owner they should look at for either media or marketing or just for a business in general? Does that question make sense?
Yeah, I mean,
I know it's probably different for you doing big pharmaceutical businesses and things like that.
I mean, I think today's business is very different than it was even 10 years ago. Certainly, you know, social media is very important to business today,
Right.
just like it is for people in personal relationships. You know, any business of any size uses social media to communicate. To be honest, we haven't though.
Really?
I say any does, but we have used very little other than just a website, just because I just really haven't had to do a lot of marketing for new business for me.
Right. That makes
I
sense.
just haven't.
Yeah.
I've been very blessed. I mean, doing a lot of work with big corporate pharma companies and
Reputation goes a long way.
hospitality companies, and then people as they go to work for other companies, and then you know now they're working for XYZ pharma company or whatever, and they're like, hey Jeff, we did this project at this company. Now will you help me do this one? And and it's led to a lot of new customers for us just by word of mouth.
Right.
I haven't had to spend a lot on media myself. Most companies, you know, have to do some marketing to maintain, you know, business or to grow their business. And you know, whether it's social media based or you know producing different types of media, you know, to help them along. You know, it's certainly a different world than it used to be. You know, it used to be all there was television advertising. You know, but there's so much more available now.
Right. Yeah, it's all over the place.
Yeah, it is. I don't know if that answers the question.
I feel like it does, because it's just like, even like for social media, do you guys use those at your events at all to like kind of communicate information to the people who are going to be there?
Occasionally we do.
Okay.
You know, we'll
I assume it's through the company you're working for, though, not your social media.
Not me. You know, occasionally we'll have custom apps, you know, event apps that are created, at the event. So there's an app that, you know, shows you
like the itinerary and everything like that.
what's going on, and you can has the agenda, has media posted from the event from the day before.
That's pretty cool.
You know, there's so many different ways of using media today, and so it continues to change.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, I think that's all the questions I have.
Okay.
And some extra ones that I just kind of tossed as we went. But I appreciate it. And
Can I add one thing?
Yeah.
I think the one thing that I would say.
You can add as many things as you want.
No, but I had this thought when you were asking that last question, that it was a big decision for me that I had to make when I was, you know, maybe about 5 years into running the business. You know, most business models, they all try to just get bigger and bigger, and you just want to grow the business. You know?
Scalable model.
Big question in business. How do you grow your business? How do you build bigger buildings and hire more people and have more revenue and all this? And I started down that path early on. Never moved away from here. There was opportunities to go, you know, get other office space. There was opportunities, and I did at one point hire some more full-time staff, and we're starting to grow it. And then I hit a downturn in 2008 when the economy went, and I lost some business and a lot of the business, because media is one thing in events that people can cut from their budget really fast.
Right.
When times are tight, they cut that, and all of a sudden 2008 was like, woo, a big wake-up call. And I had to lay off the full-time staff that I had, a few people at that time, and really scale back. And it caused me to kind of reevaluate the type of business I wanted to run. And so I realized that I can make, for me, in the type of business I'm running, I can make plenty of money keeping things very simple and lean. I don't need to have a lot of overhead with big fancy office and a lot of employees.
Again, really nice office stuff. But I understand what you're saying.
But for me, I could. I mean, my overhead is very, very minimal. It really is. But that allows me to be much more profitable. And so, and the best people in our business work for themselves. I think. There are plenty of people that work for big production companies that are very good, but they're expensive. You know, for me to hire a big production company,
overhead they have to charge for.
Because they have the overhead. So I can hire an audio engineer that works for XYZ production company, and he's $1,200 a day. I can hire an audio engineer who works for himself. He's $500 a day, and he's just as good. And so, and then I have bigger profit margin because I hired this guy. And a lot of big companies, I think that's one reason we've been able to be successful is my company that I work for really don't know I work in a garage. They don't know how big. They really don't care how many employees I have. Or
as long as you do good work, it doesn't matter.
They don't know what equipment, when we go to a video production site or a hotel ballroom, they don't know how much of the equipment is owned by Marshall Media, how much of it is rented, which of these 20 people walking around here wearing Marshall Media shirts actually work for the company full time, and which are contracted. They don't really care. All they care is the product is done well, and we do it, I think, pretty economically compared to a lot of companies. Certainly the big production companies. I know because I work for them, and I know the prices that they charge, and it's shocking. And so I think that's one reason we've been able to be successful is by just keeping our cost minimal and just being very efficient at what we do, and not trying to grow a huge business. And it's a lot less stress. When the only full-time person you have to worry about is yourself. And I have a part-time assistant who keeps all my books and does all that kind of thing. So for my business, is in terms of being an entrepreneur, that's been a big reason we've been able to be successful. I just want to throw that in there.
Sweet. Well, I appreciate it. Definitely a lot to think about, and I feel like for anybody who is watching this, I don't know who is, but hopefully that you have a better idea of how media works somewhat, but just kind of the life view of an entrepreneur. So thanks, Jeff. I appreciate it.
Thank you.